everyone. It's been a long time. It's been a while since I did a real video, and life has been busy. True enough, I think I've said that in the most recent one that I made. Yeah, life has been busy with having kids and then focusing on home, and yeah. So the reason I came on is somebody asked me to do two things. I'm only going to be able to do one because we're driving, and they wanted to know how my husband and I, decided to move to the country and how we chose that. So we're actually on our way to the city to go see my parents, which is 2 hours away from us. We're 2 hours from the city, and from a major city, which is Atlanta, and about an hour from Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And so those are the major cities that we're about an hour, 2 hours away. Married, we knew that we wanted a simple life and we wanted to raise our children in the country. So we figured, okay, we can start saving. So we made a big decision to move from Texas to Dallas, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia, where my parents. I talked to my husband, who did not want to do it, but to move in with my parents for about 2 years so we could pay off some debts. We did not stay 4 years. Okay, I think it was going on 3 years, but it wasn't 4. And we stayed there so that we could pay off some debts and save some money before we moved and planned to have children. Now, you make plans and everything will go perfect. By the time we decided to plan to have a child, it didn't happen. For various reasons that I talked about in other previous videos. But we knew that when we got married, we talked about this before we got married, whether we could have children or not, we would adopt. So we actually are in the process of adoption, and we'll know soon, come June. So that'll be in a separate video about the adoption process for that, which, yeah. So we knew this is something that we both wanted. We talked about it before we got engaged, just to move to the country. Now, for those who don't know, and those who are curious and those who have an idea, we're Seventh-day Adventists, and part of our belief or our faith is talk about moving into the country just to have a simple life and raising your children out of the cities, so that it can just be a place where you kind of can have more guard on your children and what they're exposed to, and to be able to grow your own garden and eat healthier and have a clear mind to hear God. Now, a lot more people are wanting to move to the country, so for various reasons, which we know about. So anyway, so it was about the reason we wanted to move to the country is for simple life, for raising children, to have our own garden and to be more self-sufficient, and to not be exposed to what's going on right now. So a lot of prayer for what's going on right now, dealing with coronavirus, as well as the outbreak that's going on because of the injustice that are being done to human beings, mainly right now at this point, African Americans. And so those are some of the reasons. My sister lived in the downtown Ohio, right in the city, and the riots are happening right on her street. Literally, she can actually look out the window and see the riots and the looting going on. And so she's traumatized by that, and she sees even more reason to move out of the city into the country. And so again, those are some of the reasons that we chose to move to the country. How we decided on a house or where to move was based on my husband's job, where he can get transferred. And so we prayed a lot. We prayed a lot on moving, where to move. We had an idea when, we wanted to know where. And so we prayed a lot about that. Moving forward, we were looking at houses that we didn't agree. So I'm like, okay, no, this can't happen. You like a house, or you want to move into a house that we didn't pray about or it didn't fit the bill. And so disagreements were happening with that. I'm like, no, we cannot. We made the decision. We made the decision that we cannot purchase a house unless we both unless we both agree on it, and we have the peace, or I have peace. And after looking at several houses, we had decided that, okay, we know we want to move. It don't look like we see a house that we like. We'll just go ahead and rent. And the day that we chose to go back to Tennessee, we ended up Tennessee. We were looking at Tennessee. And the day that we decided we're going to look at apartments and or duplexes or houses that we can rent, you know, kind of in the country, not too much in the city, we didn't see anything we liked. And then my husband looked on realtor.com again and said, wait a minute, I see two houses, let's look at those. I'm like, okay, no problem. So we decided on the Sunday going back to Atlanta that we'll stop and see both of those houses. I decided to make a phone call to somebody on using Realtor, but made a mistake and ended up getting a real realtor that I didn't want to talk to, so they could try to coerce us to buy a house or buy that house. But anyway, ended up being that realtor ended up showing us both houses. The first one I didn't like. It was too close to the street and there was too many houses to me that I didn't like. Not that I had a problem with neighbors, but it just didn't fit what we wanted. The second house was the house. I walked into that house and I'm like, I screamed. I'm like, this is it. This is it. Because I had so much peace. It didn't have everything on the list that we wanted, but just like when you get married or apart, you have an idea of the kind of spouse you want. They don't have everything on your list, but everything that they do have fits just right. And so it didn't have everything on the list. We had a list, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about that list. But we had a list, and it didn't fit all of that, but it had everything that was doable for us. It was 1 acre. We were looking for 5. Okay, I'm back. So 5 acres would have been too much. We wanted a well so that we can have our own water. So that house didn't have that. We wanted a well or a creek to have a water source. 2 baths, and then the other neighbor is about maybe 5 miles from us going down, and so it fit the bill. It didn't have everything on our list, but it's quiet. We have a mountain view. It's just beautiful, and that's how we knew. We prayed, we saved, we planned, but we knew we couldn't do anything without God. We knew that we could not get the right house that fits us without really praying and moving forward by faith.
And tell them that about the house, you knew that it was a stepping stone.
And we knew that house was going to be a stepping stone. So I'm the mover. I be moving again, but we don't know when.
Well, more things on the list.
To get more of the things that we wanted, even downsize. Like right now, I'm a minimalist in my head, just getting away of just being a consumer and consumption, just buying things. Like just recently, while I'm decluttering and just having less in our lives that we don't need, I had over 50 plates, and it was just the 2 of us. Okay, we have the children now, but what am I doing with that many plates? I'm like, what was I thinking? So I gave them away. I didn't need that many. Kept it down to two plates, and I'm going to invest in wood plates and stainless steel plates so that if it falls on the floor by the kids, I'm not worried. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Wood plates, a couple of dollars, and then stainless steel a little bit more, but I don't have to worry about it falling and breaking. But so we are looking to move again. We don't know when. My husband wants to move like the end of this year. But I'm praying. And the reason he wants to move is so that he can be more secluded. But I'm gonna tell you this: for those who move to the country to hide or to hide, there's nowhere to hide. There is nowhere to hide. We have satellites. We have cell phones. there's nowhere to hide. You move to the country to get out the hustle and bustle. You move to the country to hear God more. You move to the country to not be in a city with all this craziness. But you don't move to the country to hide. I remember Bush, the father, years ago. I probably was in my 20s then. Yeah, I was about 21. I'm 43 now. He said, "There's nowhere to hide." This is over 20 years ago. There's nowhere to hide. So that's not why you moved to the country. That's not why we did it. But I see the need to move to the country. This guy told me there's 2 people that moved to the country. He said 2. And it was a realtor. He said preppers and Seventh-day Adventists. He said those are the 2 people that moved to the country. Not all for the same reasons, but similar reasons. And it's simple. That's the reason why we moved to the country. We thought our plan was to raise children in the country, to get out of the hustle and bustle, to have a more simpler life, to have a garden, to raise our own food, to not be dependent on the government as much as we can, or society. I 100% believe that. And that's it. So someone asked me, how do we choose a house? It was based on location with Ralph's job. He's a truck driver. So the company that he was with, he tried to see where they were located to get a transfer. Other people that don't have a job that transfers look for jobs or potential jobs that would be nearby that they can apply to and see if they can then find a home near that area. Because you got to work, you need to pay the bills, unless you're moving from one house, selling that house to pay off all your debts, then you don't have to worry about that. So it's not trusting in God, but it's being wise as well. So we use wisdom, we use faith, and we use common sense as well. So that's really it. I don't know if anyone here has any questions, but the video was mainly because someone asked, how do we move to the country, and how do we make that decision? And we just didn't want to be in the city. And now a lot of people are trying to get out of the city or thinking about getting out of the city. What's going on now? And let me see. Okay. So that's me to talk. So I'll share a little bit I'll share my thoughts on what's going on with 1, coronavirus, and 2, with what's going on with this injustice. With coronavirus, I don't watch a lot of news. So I don't watch a lot of news. My husband is a news watcher. I don't. I don't like the hype. I don't like some of the lies. I don't like the exaggeration. If you want to find the truth, you just got to search for it. But the virus, I believe, exists. I don't know if this is going to be deleted because I said coronavirus. But the virus does exist. Okay, just stay healthy. Just stay healthy. And how you defeat the virus is by being healthy, taking your vitamin D, your vitamin D3, taking your echinacea, taking your vitamin C or acerola cherry. Vitamin C was flying off the shelf, but not everybody know about acerola cherry, which is the highest vitamin C, natural base, but you can buy it in the powder. Vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc is in the one. If you can get the combination of those, that'd be great. Some of the things I talked about in regards to health, not sleeping late, watching the stress, could that affect your immune system? So if you're keeping your immune system up to par, you don't have to worry about a virus, because it's about being healthy. And the fear that is going on, that I must just be quiet. We talked about just stay healthy, and that's mind, body, and spirit. Be healthy, be informed, and if you have faith with applying your health, taking care of your health, you're okay. I think we're heading to a big problem, and it's going to be bigger than the virus. We're going to head to economic issues. That's coming up, if not by fall. That would be an issue. So we're looking at a whole lot of problems. Now I'm gonna give the vitamins. Actually, I'm gonna give the vitamins, and if you go to my community, I will post the vitamins of the ones I use, and to keep your immune system. And the company I go by is called Berry Treasure. Berry Treasure have all the vitamins in liquid form. That's the one I go by. They have one for your immune system for adults and children. They also have vitamin D3. They have your minerals also, and they have vitamin C. So Berry Treasure, which is Buried, Buриed, or Burried. Berry Treasure is the name of the company, and you can find them on Amazon as well. They have the company, but I don't think they ship to everywhere, so you have to go through a second party. Vitamin D, like everyone should have that, and unfortunately, we shouldn't lack vitamin D, but we are. I don't know why. Well, I have an idea why with the intestines, but vitamin D is important to have that. People are coming out now saying that we need vitamin D to help with our immune system. And I mentioned vitamin C also. Those best friend. Garlic, everyone should have that in your home. Turmeric is one also. Spring Valley, that sounds familiar, I'm not sure. You don't have to go with Berry Treasure now. Whatever source that you know of that has the vitamins I mentioned, vitamin D3, with K, that helps. If you have the component that helps with the vitamin being that's the word, I'm tired. The word there's always a companion vitamin that helps the body to digest it better. But you can go with any company that you know that you trust that has that vitamin. So vitamin D, vitamin D3, and vitamin C are two main ones. Of course, zinc. Zinc is another one that helps with your immune system, and of course having garlic, having lemon also. It's simple. And they scaring people when people actually, if they could just take care of their health and taking the right vitamins and nutrients, eating the proper food, getting the proper rest, watching with stress and fear, you won't even have to worry about a virus. My parents are in their 60s. I don't remember the last time my parents got a cold. Why? Because they're taking the nutrients I'm telling them to take. They exercise, they walk every day, almost every day. They drink plenty of water, they get rest, and they're in top health. So if my parents in their 60s, over 60, can be okay, so can we if we're taking care of our health. So that's with any virus. So you got garlic is on the list for that. So that's a maintenance, and some of these are for maintenance. That if you're sick, that you'll take those just to get a boost. I'll share on my community a combination of garlic, turmeric, ginger, and lemon that will help you if you were to get the influenza. So the influenza flu, which is light. So those are things that you can do, making sure that your immune system is up to par, so you don't have to worry about getting the virus. And if you get the virus, it won't take you out because you're helping with your immune system. So I just added that to what I mainly came to talk about. And far as what we're dealing with right now with this injustice, it's sad. It's sad because nobody wins. And there's a narrative that's being put out there that's not 100% true. And what I see is hate. I see so many people. It's one thing if you get mad, but in other words, to just spew hate. Like I saw one comment is to hang somebody, like to hang the guy that committed that crime. It's like, wow, like we can get mad, but when we start to hate people or an individual or a group of people on either side, that's not good. That is not good. And it's sad because it's creating a behavior. It's creating a behavior that if it's not if we're not thinking, we're gonna see more chaos than we've ever seen before. And it's like people are not thinking. I'm talking about thinking with this virus, and thinking with these riots, or the injustice. And what's so sad, and I hope no one's offended, there's a thought that the riots that are happening and the destruction of people's businesses are done by all African Americans, and that's not true. That's not true. My sister is going through it in Ohio right now, and the majority of the people doing the looting is Caucasians. You cannot believe everything you see on the news. You cannot believe everything you hear on the news. You cannot. And it is sad that everybody's blaming everybody. You got Republicans blaming Democrats, and Democrats blaming Republicans. You got African Americans blaming whites, and Caucasian. I hate to use color. Caucasian blaming African American. Everybody's blaming, and not knowing we all on the same boat. We are all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. That division that is being promoted, and we all in the same boat. And what I mean by that, when stuff hits the fan, when stuff really hits the fan, when we go through another Great Depression and we head in there, when we go through another round of this virus that they're gonna put out probably in fall, we're all gonna be on the same boat. Whether you're rich, poor, black, African American, or Caucasian, everyone, whatever ethnicity you are in, we're all gonna be in the same boat. We're all gonna be facing the same problems and the same challenges. Everyone needs to speak for injustice together. Wrong is wrong and right is right. But when it creates a behavior that leads to hate, God help us. God help us. There's a scripture in the Bible that says the hearts of many will wax cold, and I'm seeing it. I am seeing it. I am seeing it. And when I read the comments, I'm like, God help us. God help us. Like I said, we can get mad. And when I say we, everybody that's mad about what's going on. It's not just African Americans. It's not just Caucasians. Everybody that has eyes and a heart and sympathy and empathy is mad, no matter what ethnicity they are or race. It's okay to be mad. But when it comes to the place of now, it's coming in the place of talking of hate and destruction. That's why I don't bother watching the news. How I get a glimpse of it is from my husband, who shares with me, and then when I post on Instagram, which I try to be less on that as well, that's when I find out, oh shoot, what's going on, and I'll dig a little bit deeper. But when I tell you, a lot of this, some of it is a setup for something more, and we've fallen into it. I could say more, but I'll probably sound crazy, but I could say more. We have to think. I mean, literally think and step back and think. Not just act out of emotions, but just really think. That's it. That's all I can say is think. I came here to talk about how we moved to the city, but how we moved to the country. But there's so much going on that this is what I'll leave here and say. Take care of your health as relates to this virus. Take care of your mind. Because I'm looking at like people are not thinking. Like, yo, think. Use your brain. Don't use emotions. Use your brain. Think. So take care of your mind. Take care of your health. And trust God. Like right now where I'm at, where I'm less on everything, I'm really trying to get closer to God, because I can get angry. Like I really can get angry that if I don't pray, that there'll be no self-control. So I literally like have to pray, Lord, help me to not act out of anger, because I'll be that person. If I let it get angry, I'm cussing everybody out. And so I'm really dependent on God to help me to have a heart of love and sympathy and empathy for everyone, to trust him. And that's not always easy, because it's so easy to be caught up in your feelings. So it's constantly trying to get a closer walk with God. Thank you. So it's constantly trying to get a closer walk with God. And so that's what I'm actually encouraging and pushing. Like, take care of your health, and really get closer with God, and praying more. Yeah, praying more. That's it right there. Really praying more, because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Literally. I may not watch the news, but what I'll follow the economy. I'll learn more about the economy. I'll learn about history of the Great Depression. I'll learn about the Spanish flu. I'll learn about what happened then and what people did and what was done at that time, to know how to prepare for today. Because you'll learn a lot from history, because man always repeat history. And so I'm definitely trying. My goal is to get closer with God, and to pray more, and to ask for wisdom. How do I take care of my family? Where do I need to be? How do I prepare? What do I need to stock up on? So that when chaos happens, I don't have to run to the store or run to the streets. So I'm really praying more to ask God for wisdom on the things that matter, and to not get caught up in the news that paints one narrative, and then only the narrative that they're told to paint. And then when they're ready to paint the other side, then they give the other side after people have acted out in one way. And so I stay away from it 90% of the time. So that's really it. I hope everyone is keeping safe, keeping healthy, and thinking more. Like, really thinking, like, ask questions. Okay, what can I do? What can I do? What can be done? What can be done for me? What can be done for my family? What can be done for the people in my community and my friends? What can I do? That requires thinking and not acting out of emotions. And then praying for the things that I can't handle, praying for the things that I can't do nothing about, but just asking God to do what he's able to do. And that's it. And that requires actually thinking, and not based on emotions. So I pray to do more videos. It's harder now because I have 2 little ones. It was 1. Now I have 1. I don't know for how long. And just getting my house ready for future events. Getting our home ready. Trying to get our relationship established. So home for me is the first ministry. And then when I have the time available, I like to reach out to y'all. So that's one video. I went on, but we're driving for 2 hours. So I hope everyone is blessed. Stay safe, stay prayed up, and think. All right? Be blessed, everyone. Until next time.